This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in. Mohit.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Please sit down, Mohit.
Thank you, sir.
Mohit, you are from Rajasthan, Ajmer.
Yes, sir.
IIT Mumbai.
IIT
Kanpur, which is one of the most prestigious technical institution of the country.
Yes.
It is your first attempt.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful. Tell me, why do you want to get into the services?
Sir, there was a primary inclination due to my grandfather and my mother who were there in public services. So I always felt like I should engage in a field where I will be able to balance giving back to the society as well as my personal career ambition. And civil services offers a promising regard. And also, I believe that next 25 years are going to be very transformative for India, and bureaucracy will be at center of it.
Why do you say the next 25 years are going to be transformative?
Yes.
The last 25 years were not transformative?
So from my perspective, I think the next 25 will be more.
All right, because you will be a contributor.
Yes, sir.
To the nation building exercise.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Tell me, in last so many years, 75, because you are talking about next 25 years, let me talk about the past.
Yes.
In last 75 years, what have been the sterling achievement of this country? Give me only 3 or 4. But the most important.
So first would be that we really improved on our human development indicators, though there is a long way to go, but on literacy level, on maternal mortality and infant mortality, we improved a lot. Second would be, sir, we have become the 5th largest economy in the world from where we started. That is a great achievement. Third, the emerging geopolitical significance of India. That would be another measure, sir. Apart from that, sir, we are also emerging as an innovation hub that is on the bedrock of the strong higher educational institution that we have.
All right, so let's take this.
Yes.
When I said the most important for any society or country, what is the most important thing?
Sir,
Is it HIDI or anything else? What is the first and the most?
Sir, as a country, I would say having a stable polity, a political system, a democratic system is most important.
Absolutely. Democracy.
Yes.
We are one of the very few countries in the world who are very illiterate and who adopted democracy. And today we are not only the largest democracy in the world, it is the most vibrant democracy in the world.
Yes.
And because of democracy, you are sitting here and we are sitting here. It is only because of that we are able to express our views.
Yes.
That's the biggest strength of any society.
Yes.
Is that the society allows you to say whatever you want to say as long as it is not detrimental to the national security. Isn't it?
Yes.
You didn't say about that. Second, what about the security of the nation? आप कहीं भी जाएंगे सबसे पहले घर की सुरक्षा करेंगे ना?
Yes.
So you didn't say anything about the security of the nation, and we have got very volatile neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
and third, food grain production. We were importing large quantities of food grain. आप किसी सबसे पहले खाना चाहिए ना उसको.
Yes, sir.
So we were importing large quantities of food grain. Today we are net exporter of food grain. And then economic development, human development index, and all these things are there after. But what are the 2 challenges which are still there before the country? 2 biggest challenges.
Sir, I would say one is definitely the border challenges or the internal security challenges. Both of these challenges provide.
आप बताओ कि पिछले 50 साल में कहीं तो कुछ हुआ नहीं. Nobody has taken away even an inch of land of ours. We have not taken even an inch of land of others also. So what is the border issue? ये छोटे मोटे skirmishes हर जगह चलती रहती हैं. Every farmer will be fighting with his neighbor.
Yes.
थोड़ा खिटपिट चलते रहता ना. So that's not a big deal. What else?
Sir, apart from that, the agricultural distress, the agrarian distress, that's another issue.
Not distress, in the sense, except that farmers are little agitated because they are not getting their due or they are not getting enough.
Yes.
Which would incentivize them to grow more and more. So that's a little bit of issue, but not a very big issue. What else? Going big. You see, what is the difference between a technocrat and a civil servant? Civil servant is expected to take a broader view, or compassing view.
Yes.
What is the biggest challenge today?
Sir, if we can talk on geopolitical front, there are emerging two blocks in the world and balancing.
No. The biggest challenge today is unemployment. Don't you think so?
Yes, sir.
Wherever you go, yesterday or day before, I was going somewhere and I saw a small boy. He must be about 10 years or 8 years old kind of thing, and he was carrying something. He was only a messenger kind of thing. He was taking something, some goods to somebody in a very shamble state. And I was thinking, after 75 years, our boys and girls who should be in school and doing something for their cognitive abilities are doing this kind of work just to get, or that was on Valentine's Day, yes, now. So just to earn a little bit of money, maybe 20, 30, 40 rupees in a day. Employment opportunities.
Employment remains a big problem.
What else? What is the next one? Related thing. I'm just giving you a clue. Inequality.
Inequalities are growing.
Inequality in all the three areas: social, economic, and political.
Yes.
These are, we must think big, and then you can deliberate upon that, and then you can explain when the panelists ask. All right. My next question is on electoral bonds.
Yes.
A new verdict has come in. What is your assessment of this verdict?
Sir, on the recent judgment of electoral bond, definitely the transparency was an issue, because even as the Honorable Supreme Court has said that the voters' right to know cannot be compromised in garb of anonymity for the donors. In my personal opinion, we need formalization of electoral financing also, because we have seen that in pre-2017 era, it was mostly cash dominated. So maybe a more refined electoral bond scheme by the next government which will be formed, where the transparency as well as the right to know both are acknowledged.
So you are not very happy with this verdict?
Sir, I am happy to the extent that...
But this is what I am gathering from what you are saying. That you are saying, ठीक है कर दिया, लेकिन then now the government has to look into the financing of the elections.
Sir, in my personal opinion, I believe that this black money and the non-formal money, which is not through the formal channels, which enters the political scene, that also influences the political decisions and...
But this is what is said.
Yes.
What is the underlying principle which had been adopted by the Supreme Court? There are two conflicting rights. What were these two conflicting rights?
Sir, first would be right to know, which is also a part of Article 19(1)(a), sir.
And 14, equality.
And 14, sir. Apart from that...
So, and on the other side?
Sir, can I get a moment, sir? I'm not able... I'll recall.
Right to privacy.
Right to privacy, Article 20.
But thereafter, they decided on the basis of what? Some principle?
Sir, proportionality test.
So they ultimately, most of the time in your life as a bureaucrat, you will have various shades of grey and not black and white.
Yes.
And then you have to use this principle only, which is basically principle of proportionality.
Yes.
The balance of convenience lies here.
Yes.
So this is what they said. And they said that and why? This right of transparency is higher. Why? They said this right of transparency or right to know is higher than the right of privacy. Why?
Sir, when they applied this proportionality test, they said that the measure which is adopted does not fulfill the least restrictive principle of the proportionality doctrine, the three aims under the proportionality doctrine.
What does that mean?
Sir, that means that there could be other methods also. For example, the Honorable Supreme Court.
Let's not get into all these technicalities.
Yes, sir.
As a common man,
yes,
basic understanding is it impinges the purity of elections, democracy.
Yes.
And democracy is sacrosanct for a country like ours.
Yes.
So, if out of these two, which is impinging the purity of election?
Sir,
right to know.
Right to know.
That's why they said that. That's why they said that least. What do you call it?
Least restrictive. It's not least. Sir.
But underlying thought was that it is impinging the purity of elections, which is. All right, my final question. Tell me something about Ajmer.
Sir, Ajmer is located in the hearts of Aravali. Sir, it is surrounded by Aravalis on all sides. And I would like to say that it is both the cultural and religious capital of Rajasthan also, because we have a significant blend of all religions, be it Islam, be it Hinduism or Jainism, sir. Apart from that, it has always been a big administrative center right from the times of Rajput.
How old is this town, Ajmer?
Sir, it was established in the 12th century, sir, by Maharaja Ajay Chauhan, sir, of the Chauhan dynasty. From then onward.
Tell me, why did he establish this city? He was a ruler of Delhi?
Sir,
Ajay Pal?
Sir, Ajay Pal Tomar was different, sir. The Chauhan dynasty rule.
The Prithviraj Chauhan's dynasty.
Yes, sir.
Prithviraj Chauhan was his nephew, na? Ajay Chauhan? Kyun, madam?
Yes, sir.
He was, Prithviraj Chauhan was a nephew of the gentleman,
Yes.
Ajay Chauhan.
Sir, the primary motive of establishing Ajmer is since it is surrounded by hills, it was called as Ajay Meru, the hills which cannot.
No, that's fine. Naam uska wo ho gaya, because, but why did he establish the city here?
Sir, can I attempt it? I'm not sure. Sir, I think since it is an important transit route between the northwest frontier as well as the capital of Delhi.
Absolutely. That is what. You should always try to find out why.
Yes.
For everything you should say why. Thank you so much, Mohit.
Thank you, sir.
All the very best.
Mohit, so you did electrical engineering, right?
Sir, can you please repeat?
You did electrical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the difference between BLDC motor and DC motor?
No, sir. I cannot recall it right now, sir.
Can you explain me the working of DC motor?
Sir, basically, a motor is a device which converts electrical energy to the mechanical energy, sir. So when a DC current is supplied, that in turn powers the rotor which is present inside. So that converts it into mechanical energy. That is my primitive understanding, but I'll read about this more,
You
sir.
just passed out, right?
Yes, sir. In 2022, sir. I'll read more about it.
And electrical, you are supposed to know this, right?
Sir, I'll read about it, sir.
Is it possible to create a motor without magnet?
Sir, since motor works on the principle of conversion of energy, I think the magnet would be necessary, sir, in that regard.
Have you heard of magnetless motor?
No, sir, I have not heard of it. I'll read about it, sir.
So you worked as a data analyst, data scientist, right?
Yes, sir, for internship.
What is big data?
Sir, big data basically refers to the huge databases that we have, that we call, that is basically around this concept of compute architecture. What we really do is, since there are a lot of data generated right from either from social media or from the market information or from the customer's behavior, what we do is we identify those significant points which can become important for our marketing team, which can enhance our productivity, which can enhance our sales, sir. So big data is primarily that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So railway generates tons of data.
Yes.
Through ticket reservation. Would that data qualify to be called as big data?
Sir, if that data can be used to extract points, significant data.
Don't give me if but.
Okay.
Give me just answer. You are data analyst, right?
Yes, data scientist, yes.
Data scientist, you should be able to tell me whether that data points qualifies to be called as big data.
Sir, the passenger data of railways you are referring to?
I said.
Yes, sir. In my understanding, that would qualify as big data, sir.
Again, go back to the definition of what is big data.
Sir, big data is any data from which we can, it is a huge database.
Why do you call big data? Then why it is not called just data?
Sir, that is because data is primarily filtered data, sir, and big data.
Read the definition.
Okay.
My last question to you. Why only farmers in the north are protesting or raising demands from government? Why not from south or east?
Sir, in my understanding, these farmers which are protesting are now, these were earlier the primary beneficiaries of the Green Revolution. But after the 1991 economic reforms and the plateauing of Green Revolution returns, they have faced increasing cost of living crisis. Therefore, these specific region farmers
सबसे ज़्यादा पैसे वाले इधर ही हैं. क्या बात कर रहे हो? The poorest are in Bihar, UP, Bihar and Jharkhand.
Sir, on that line, that lines only I was arguing that, for example, in the case of MSP, the most beneficiaries are concentrated in these regions only, sir, in Punjab, Haryana and Western UP.
So they are not at loss. Still they are protesting. That's my question.
Sir, because they are usually large landholders, sir, and they are only the beneficiaries of the MSP regime. And now since their returns are declining, they are on the protest. That's my understanding of the topic.
Okay, Mohit. So you are from Ajmer.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me that why Mayo College is very famous in history?
Ma'am, it was established primarily as an educational center by the Lord Mayo in 1870s. And from there it has...
So that is only for royal families?
Ma'am, earlier it was for royal families, but now it has opened admissions for other students also.
Okay. Okay, especially you are from Ajmer.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think about the Sufism?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think so that it also helps to reunite people?
Ma'am, in my understanding, the Sufism actually originated from a divergence from the Orthodox sect or the Wahhabi sect. So what Sufism does is it basically emphasizes on the individual's connection to the God through love. So there is. So
we can also say that this is also the part of spiritualism also?
Yes, ma'am. It's a form of spiritualism. It's a new form of spiritualism which emerged. There were various silsilas in this regard, such as Chishti silsila and other silsilas were also there. So in my understanding, since it also had elements of bhakti tradition, it emphasized on the religious unity as well as social and communal unity. Sufism do emphasize on collective solidarity. Apart from that, there is also ideas of Wahadat. There is idea of unity of being, ma'am, which is propounded in the Sufism. So that emphasizes on communal unity, ma'am.
Okay. So what is your opinion regarding pilgrimage tourism? So it's really helpful for our economy also?
Ma'am, in my own hometown, there is religious pilgrimage in terms of Pushkar temple. The pilgrims also come. Also during the Urs, we see a lot of turnout. So there is a creation of informal and formal jobs due to that. And that leads to a multiplier effect on any region's economy. Even with the recent Ayodhya temple, Ram temple, which has been built, around 80,000 crores of developmental works have been laid out. And multiple cities are being developed.
So we have to work on pilgrimage tourism also?
Ma'am, definitely, in my understanding, we should.
Okay, so especially farmer agitation. Okay, so you already said about something like as Sir said, like. So tell me that what is the especially role of MSP in the farmer agitation?
Ma'am, their principal...
Basically, that is the center of their agitation also?
Yes, ma'am. Their principal demand is regarding the legalization of the MSP. And the government is concerned about the fiscal costs associated with it. So there is ongoing negotiations on that, ma'am.
So they are demanding for on all crops, MSP for all crops?
Ma'am, right now it's declared on 23 crops, but primarily since these farmers grow paddy and wheat, ma'am, their main focus is on implementation of MSP on these crops.
They're also demanding exit from WTO?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, that is because of the de minimis principle of the WTO that any country could only give 10% subsidy, any developing country. So what farmers are saying that it is leading to their cost of living crisis and...
So it is as per their country's situation, not our country's situation also?
Ma'am, in case of India, this is especially problematic because our per acre subsidy is pretty less as compared to USA and the Western countries. And this is the main issue. And even the peace clause, which has been there since 2013, that has not been finalized. And multiple times there are litigations in the WTO. So that is an issue, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So your hobby is also watching informative content on Indian social issues.
Yes.
Only Indian social issues or worldwide social issues also?
Ma'am, primarily I watch Indian social issues with regard to like the caste conflicts which may be there or the patriarchy in India, these type of content.
Okay, recently a news that is right to disconnect. Maybe you are aware about that. So what do you think about that? Is it implemented in India also, right to disconnect? Is it really helpful?
Ma'am, right now since we are in emerging economy, we do not see this phenomena. We see that an employee must be 24/7 available on the call for the employer. But I think
nowadays, especially in India, work from home is also became the exploitation of the employees also.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
So we have to also do some work on right to disconnect also.
Ma'am, I think we would need to balance. There are competing interests over here, the interest of the employee as well as the interest of the employer. What we can do is we can let the company come to a mutually agreeable solution with their employee, and then this right to disconnect can be implemented.
Working hour is almost 8 hours?
Around, yes.
Around
ma'am.
8 hours?
Yes.
Okay, but after that we can see that a mail messages, you are almost ready for that.
Yes.
So approximately, as per the European countries like Australia, that said ki, when we are paying for only 8 hours, so why we are taking his or her service for 24 hours?
Yes. Ma'am.
So this is the biggest concern.
Ma'am, this is one of the concerns, ma'am. But then again, we would also...
Especially in India also, it happens.
Ma'am, it happens because the employer wants the employee to be available at all times to respond to his call or request.
One last thing, that what is your opinion? Especially is this really good for India?
Ma'am, in my understanding, right now it would not be a prudent step.
Why we have almost Chennai, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Delhi, almost corporate culture in our India also. So why we don't?
Ma'am, because we need to understand what our leverage is at the global scale. That is that we offer cheap labor services. If we really implement this right to disconnect, our IT enabled sector or the services sector, what the cost of production will rise, and therefore that might lead to deshoring of such business from India. So in my understanding, ma'am, that is at this moment not prudent, but a workable solution between employee and employer could be found.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mohit. Can you tell me, in spite of schemes like Make in India, Production Link Incentive, and so many different schemes to boost manufacturing in India,
Yes.
why are we still lagging in terms of semiconductors?
Ma'am, sir, that is primarily because right now we do not have, firstly, we import all of our semiconductor raw materials. So that is the first biggest challenge. Second, any of the fabrication facilities which are set up are usually capital intensive as well as resource intensive industries. Thirdly, even in the semiconductor domain, we are going for 25 to 30 nanometer chips and not the cutting edge technology. So that is also a concern. And another historical reason is during the 1970s, when we really had the leverage to set up these fabrication units, we really missed the bus over there. So these would be the primary reasons, sir.
Okay. Do you think India can beat South Korea, Taiwan in terms of such manufacturing capacities?
So right now it would be very difficult, sir. They have over the time established these industries, but India's share is gradually increasing. Right now it's $19 billion, and our government has also infused around 10,000 crores in this sector. And with increasing MOUs that are being signed, maybe in the next 20-25 years, we can come up with competing facilities.
I see you are much interested into chess.
Yes, sir.
Can you name few recent tournaments associated with chess which were in news?
Sir, first would be the qualification to candidates, which is being talked about, which will be organized. 2 or 3 days back, there was a private tournament called the 𝐂𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐥 Challenge, which was organized. Apart from that, the Chennai Open tournament was also there, in which the Gukesh earned his nom to the candidates. So these are the ones I can recall right now.
Okay. Can you tell me what are the criteria for becoming a grandmaster?
Sir, that is usually based on the obtaining 3 grandmaster norms. Now, in my understanding, one basic criteria is to obtain a ELO rating of 2500 or above. And then if you play in any tournament, your score should be higher than the average score of that tournament, the median score of that tournament. Sir, there are other conditions also, but these are the 2 conditions which I can remember.
Okay, so which grandmaster's game do you follow more?
Sir, I follow Magnus Carlsen. I also follow Indian grandmasters like Pragnananda, Nihal Sarin, Gukesh, all of these, sir.
What is so unique about Pragnananda?
Sir, the first unique thing would be his age, sir. That is definitely the case.
In terms of his style of playing chess?
Sir, I personally like his adaptive capacity. What happens is usually the opponent mistakes that Pragnananda is defending while he is opening the other side of the board. That he has employed against Magnus Carlsen also, that he has employed recently against Ding Liren also. So I think that is his biggest prowess, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of Kasparov move?
Kasparov move, sir?
Yes, in chess.
Sir, I don't know the Kasparov move in
Okay, no problem. You are much interested into cricket also?
Yes.
So can you tell me, recently Indian Test Series is going on. So with which team?
England, we are
England. Okay. So are you following that series?
Yes, sir. The highlights.
Okay. Recently, in the test match, when England started playing,
Yes.
so they were given a 5 runs head start.
Yes, sir.
What was the reason for that?
Sir, that was because there was a penalty for running on the danger area of the pitch that is not allowed. So they were given a 5-run. India was given a 5-run penalty for that, and therefore 5 runs were added to their total.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much, Mohit.
Yes.
We had a wonderful interaction with you.
Thank you.